Hello everyone! Meghan finds CBS is not backing down, and she does not like it one bit. If you have seen my other recent videos, you will know that Meghan is in trouble. Actually, I have to say this straight. Meghan is very delusional. What Meghan thinks is due to her talent and ability is all an illusion. What Meghan has is actually just because people take advantage of her. Have you noticed that this photo appears to be a picture of the face of someone who is genuinely happy? Someone who is completely engrossed in the narrative of another individual? Of course. Someone who is truly demonstrating warmth, kindness, and empathy demonstrates empathy. Let's not forget all of the topics that Meghan Markle really discussed on her trip to Colombia, which took place not too long ago. Additionally, have you taken note of the fact that she has lowered the pitch of her voice in order to give the impression that she is becoming more authoritative? You do realize that each and every trick is evaluated in a literal sense, don't you? But was it successful? On the other hand, as we saw in the most recent interview with CBS and Jane Pauley, the bottom line was that Jane did not exactly follow the plan. This was something that may be different, depending on where you are from. And everyone has been talking about exactly what happened behind the scenes, including how Meghan had a bit of a breakdown because, clearly, she believed that she could dictate, despite the fact that she had recently signed a contract with CBS, which is a large corporate organization, due to the fact that she is the Duchess of Sussex. Upon your initial encounter with her, you will refer to her as Mom. In addition, she is married to the Duke of Sussex, who is also a former member of the British monarchy. His name is the Duke of Sussex. She got the impression that it had a great deal of influence, and then something occurred. It is possible that some individuals would assert that Harry and Meghan are bigger than life, particularly in light of the fact that this most recent CBS interview was unsuccessful. Additionally, what is fascinating about this situation is that their message was just misplaced. The fact that Meghan and Harry were on CBS was something that everyone spoke about. But do you have any idea why she was really scheduled to appear on the show? You are unable to, are you? Unfortunately, it is the issue. What's fascinating is that this is the case, as you can see, behind the scenes. There is a particular photo that you will see when Meghan literally went a little bit potty, because she had no clue that she would be sharing the stage with these two individuals. As you can see, this was the issue that occurred behind the scenes. It appears that this was not completely agreed upon. Meghan had no clue that she would be sharing the stage with these folks, and she indicated that she was not prepared, or as a matter of fact, to completely understand the narrative of these specific persons. Nevertheless, considering that you were intended to be the main attraction and the one to promote this specific incentive, would it really make a difference? Is it possible that you did not exhibit even a small amount of empathy, possibly put your arm around this person, giving the impression that you were involved and interested in them? And this was reportedly the input that CBS received behind the scenes. Meghan simply honestly assumed, once again, that she was going to be delivering her narrative in gorgeous Technicolor, looking fantastic in head-to-toe beige like she always has. This is something that you can understand. The fact that Prince Harry was interjecting all about how people truly were first responders and going on and on about something that nobody had any knowledge about was something that she didn't particularly enjoy. It is possible for you to comprehend the issue, isn't it? Harry, on the other hand, cannot be trusted. Do you agree with me? Let's do a little survey. If you also feel that Harry is not trustworthy, comment number 1, and vice versa. If you feel that Harry is trustworthy, comment number 2. This is going to be an issue for Harry and Meghan because, as we saw, she would rapidly lose interest in the 40x40 and many other incentives that she has taken on board. Now, I have been informed that CBS is still preparing to conduct a follow-up on this incentive, and this is going to be a problem for them. I mean, at present, it's the digital kind of terrorizing, isn't it? And watching after children, but in reality, it's a very scarce attention plan for that. How about that? CBS, on the other hand, has no intention of letting go. They are interested in determining the extent to which the Duke and Duchess have been involved, as well as the actions that they have taken to lead this specific incentive. And they are certainly interested in bringing additional individuals back on board to sit alongside Meghan. As I mentioned before, this did not sit well with the erstwhile Princess of Sussex, who is now known as the Duchess of Sussex, but they do not care about that. They are producing television, and as Harry and Meghan are discovering, if you want screen time, you need to pay accordingly. And the most important thing is that you need to provide an excellent performance. As of right now, their most recent interview on CBS has not been one of the most clicked on or even seen, which means that they are aware that they have an issue. However, they are also aware that they need to follow up on it, which is something that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex may hope CBS would simply forget about. Jane did more than Anderson and Tom. Softball interviews with these two need to stop. Need to call out everything they lied about, her face and look in her eyes, with her lashes fluttering. She was mad at Jane. She showed no compassion on her face when the parent spoke. Why go to Colombia when it is happening here? Do the work here, where you reside. Get all your so-called friends with dollars together to donate to a local cause that helps with this. People do that kind of charity work in their own country for many causes. Meghan would hug a stranger in a heartbeat for a photo op, but couldn't show a grieving mother some compassion. Said, besides, that grieving mother was getting more attention than Meghan. That's what the glare was about. I found her lack of empathy towards this grieving mother appalling. To add insult to injury, she glared at her angrily. She's utterly heartless. Meghan is a narcissist. She doesn't show empathy because she simply doesn't possess it or shame. Remember, we don't care about your title in the U.S., Meghan, and we won't call you Duchess or ma'am. Clearly, Markle doesn't have 1 ounce of kindness or compassion in her entire body. She has zero compassion for her own sick father who gave her everything. That speaks volumes to her character or lack thereof. Chances are that she suffers from a malignant narcissistic personality disorder, with more than a touch of borderline personality disorder thrown in for good measure. One sick individual. CBS should not have given them a platform to use these poor parents and use the tragedy of kids to promote herself. I sure hope these parents have learned that they were being used and will not participate with them again. Rachel is so cold-hearted to do this to them. At least some of those parents have come across Markle before. They knew what they were in for. Some have suggested that they were paid, but no evidence for that claim. I don't think there is any amount of money those two could pay me to let them use me over my tragedy. But that is me. Her smug face during that interview was disgusting. She wanted the spotlight on her the entire time. It wasn't even about her. She's a jerk. And Harry is clueless. They will say it to get sympathy, but they don't have the guts to do it. On the inside, they are cowards. They will continue to bully others for as long as they can get away with it. They are very sour and greedy people. What story does she have to tell? She was a bit part actress. No story there. The only thing that comes out of her mouth is either fabrications or complete lies. She has done nothing worth talking about. The same lies. She can only go back to the washing up liquid advert, which she did not affect any change. Like everything else that comes out her mouth, lies upon lies. Meghan wanted the floor and wanted center stage. She was the least interesting person there. The couple who lost their son was more interesting than Meghan, and they should have had center stage, not Meghan the whiner. Especially, she's trying to make a compassionate face, but she's a lousy actress and it didn't work. I'm proud of Polly for not throwing down her reputation as a journalist. Stand up to the liar, Markle, and don't get pushed around by her. Meanwhile, talk is cheap and actions speak volumes. No one is listening or believing anything Meghan says. Not wrong. Markle looks uncaring and ambivalent. He's all hype and nothing underneath. That said, that interview unmasked Markle. It was all about her, including bringing up her old story about her traumatic 18 months in the British royal family, while sharing the stage with a mother and father who lost their child to suicide. Markle has no empathy. I noticed the look she gave this lady who was talking of her grief and was appalled. People are starting to wake up to Meghan and her true self. About time, isn't it? And I've noticed that Meghan changes the timbre of her voice almost as often as her skin color. Would have loved to have seen the meltdown. Harry's missus welcomes teenage boys to rest their heads on her chest, but isn't able to show this mother any compassion. That says it all, really. Markle's being backed into a corner again. She's lost all control. Nobody is curtsying or bowing to her shrill demands. Another day, another meltdown from the terminally angry and screeching royal. From the first viewing of the interview, I thought she seemed to be having sly digs at Meghan in particular. Her compassion comes with a camera crew, using critically ill children as props, using tragedies and other people's pain to promote herself. It's obvious her superficial shallowness was irked that someone else was speaking. How dare they? She didn't want to share the stage with Todger either. Incept Harry is planning a trip to New York City during Prince William's trip for the Earthshot Prize. In October, Harry is releasing the spare paperback to coincide with King Charles's trip to Australia. Coincidence? I think not. What would happen if no one reported on Harry's trip or book release until well after the other royal events? Always piggybacking off of other family members. And the next king, just Harry is so pathetic.